What's going on, Alabama Nation? It's your boy, Coach Smook, here with my bro. Is he over there? Sean
Sean from
from
Huntsville, baby.
Huntsville, baby. What's up,
Right
baby?
here.
Your two coaches, your chat coaches, man. How y'all doing tonight? Hey, we just doing a little, I guess, a random get to because we excited about Alabama football. How you feeling, brother?
Man, extremely excited. Extremely excited. Ready. It's about that time. I smell the grass. Let's go. It's
Man,
here.
that and all, all the outlets putting out their different views and takes on things. I'm one of those guys, man. I take it all in. The stuff that don't make sense, the stuff that makes sense, because it charges me to think on a different, different perspective from everything. And
Yeah.
I think that's what makes that last week of build up to college football just that much better, man. So I
It
mean,
does.
I'm
It does.
excited, bro. I mean,
It
and then
does,
the
man.
smell of the air this morning, it smelled like fall up here in Virginia,
Yeah, man.
I
You
was
know
like,
what?
dude.
What kind of motivates me more than anything? So I can only imagine how the players feel.
Right.
I don't recall the last time in the Coach Saban era that this many people have been throwing dirt on us this early.
And I
I
mean,
wow, man.
heavy
Wow.
dirt, heavy dirt. I mean, not like, people like would throw a little beach shovel,
Yeah.
bucket shovel a little bit. No, they
Yeah.
dumping trunk loads of dirt. Like, and this is impromptu, but I can't get over the Jalen Miro narrative, the negativity
Yeah.
behind Jalen Miro. Like, who's the best athlete on the team right now? On any
Exactly. I would tell any fan out there, man, just from playing experience, the toughest quarterback you can kind of face is the one who can complete 20 to 30-yard passes, and the one that we in man coverage can make us pay for playing man coverage. Look back no further than the quarterbacks that have defeated us.
Mhm.
If you look at the Tennessee game, we know Hendon Hooker is not Michael Vick or Johnny Manziel by any stretch of the imagination, but he can pull it down. You look at
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, that's how they end up beating us in overtime.
I
So
mean, even Joe Burrow,
yeah,
2019, Joe Burrow
yeah,
didn't do it all with his
yes,
arm. He used his legs
yes,
and caught
man,
us off guard.
yes. And I understand people's concerns. I get it. But it's one game, guys. It's one game. Think about it. Redshirt freshman, big game. Coach Saban versus Jimbo. All the hoopla behind that game. The guy came out and started a very pressure cook game. Didn't play very, very well, but didn't play very, very bad either. We almost lost the game because he did get a ball to those guys, but it was his only start. Yes, he played against Arkansas, but that was not a start. So think about the pressure that was on that young man. He came out and we won the game, guys. We won the game. So understand the difference in regressing and increasing your play. I think Jalen's gonna be just fine, man. I know he hears everything that's going on. The young man has taken the reps with the first team. Let's give him a chance and see what he can do. Let's give him a
Right.
chance and see what he can do.
And I mean, everybody's like, he had his chance. No, he didn't. Bryce
No,
didn't go up there and blow it up his first game. He was ahead though. Bryce was competing for the job when he got on campus. If
exactly.
COVID hadn't happened, everybody know Bryce probably would have beat out Mac Jones. As hard as Mac Jones would have worked, I honestly believe Bryce goes out the first game of the season, just like we
Yeah,
had Blake Barnett in the Jalen Hurts situation. We give Mac Jones 3 drives, we give Bryce 3 drives. And whoever performs the best at that point in time will finish the game. And then if it carries over to week 2, Bryce would have won that battle out just off natural
yeah,
talent alone. And then you had a guy like Jameson Williams. I mean, not J
yeah.
Mo, but that was that J Mo year 2020. J Mo wasn't there. That was Mechie and
Uh,
Smitty. That was Smitty's Heisman year. You
yeah.
had
Mac
Smitty
was
and
with
Waddle
Smitty and
still
them,
there.
and Jamo was with Bryce.
No, yeah,
Bryce's Heisman year.
exactly. So you think
Yeah,
about that year before then, and you put Bryce with Smitty, Waddle, Mechie, Bolden was there as the fourth option. You
yeah,
had young Billingsley before he had the little attitude problems.
yeah,
Um, I mean, they had guys that surrounded Najee Harris out the backfield
yeah.
as your lead back. I mean, it was one of those things where when you talk about the amount of talent that Alabama continues to bring in at the quarterback position, how could we dare doubt Coach Saban? He has yet to
Exactly.
make a horrible decision at quarterback. You talking about from making a former running back / DB, letting him go back there and toss that rock and being one play away from going to the national championship, and
And
Blake
throwing
Sims
for over 3,000 yards.
3,000 yards in his
Yeah.
first year as a starter at
Yes.
quarterback.
Yes.
Come on now. And I mean, he played quarterback in high school, but it wasn't 4 quarters at a time. Blake
Exactly.
Sims spot played at quarterback. He was a great read option quarterback. Like that's
Yes.
where he was an athlete. he was a smaller Jalen Milroe. And if Saban was able to bring in somebody who at that time, who was the offensive coordinator for Blake Sims?
Blake Sims was, I think that was it Blake?
That was
Don't tell
Kiffin's
me.
first time through, wasn't it?
Was that Kiffin's first year?
I want to say Kiffin's first year because Kiffin got Coker the second year, right?
Yeah, Jacob Coker came in
Yeah,
because they was battling the first season and Coker didn't start. Sims
so
started. I
so
think that
Lane
was,
Kiffin,
yeah.
you have the same type of mindset in the coach. Lane Kiffin, everybody think Lane Kiffin does. He's known for passing the ball, being able to create passing mismatches. No, Lane Kiffin knows how to scheme the run so that he can incorporate the pass and create mismatches over top. He knows how to get you to stop allowing 5, 6 guys sit in coverage and forcing you to make 6 or 7 guys pay attention to what's happening in the line of scrimmage.
That's a whole fact.
He creates the matchups on the outside, the mismatches on the outside. So you got a guy like Tommy Reese who wants to use the tight ends to create the mismatches on the outside, on the inside of the field, then build outside. And we're built for it.
And remember, man, let's give him a chance. Remember Mac against Auburn. Mac threw, what was it, 1 pick sixes, 1 pick six?
Man.
He threw the ball behind Najee. Auburn guy takes it back to the house. It happens, man. It happens. So let's not hold that one game against the young man. We won the game. Let's give the man a chance. Obviously, if there was a better quarterback, Coach Saban would play them. Trust me.
Right.
He understands the dynamic that Jalen Milroe brings, man. He understands that you cannot play man coverage against this guy. This guy will make you pay. He understands the type defense that Texas plays. If you don't think Coach Sark understands what we're going to try to do, he may not know which quarterback we're going to start. He may have an idea like we all. Yeah. But Coach Sark right now, he understands how to play us, man. So Saban wants that trump card in his back pocket. On 3rd and long, when nobody's open, somebody gets beat on the offensive line. Guess what? This guy can make you pay.
You got a running back there. You got a running back there. Like, and it's crazy because I think people forget the basic scheme of things when it comes to football. I guarantee you, if you line up 10 college football coaches right now, and you put Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, Tyler Buchner in front of them to lead their program this year with what they currently have, Georgia will take Jalen Milroe right now.
Of course.
You know what? I'll take that back because Ty Simpson is right there. I'm telling you, like, even though
he's gonna have a great future, man. He's gonna have an absolute outstanding future.
And my only fear is that, and I want Jalen Milroe to win it, but if Jalen Milroe stakes it up, I think Ty takes it and never turns it back over.
Yeah.
That buys him this year to legitimize himself as the starter, and the ability to kind of fight off Dylan Lonergan, because I think Dylan Lonergan is going to be the space between Julian Sayans starting, and when he comes in, not starting as a freshman. So I think Dylan Lonergan going to be able to hold it down for 2 years.
Man, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting because that dude is nasty, bro. He's nasty. But I don't think Saban's going to have to force him out there, so he won't have to. He just won't. It won't be a time where he needs to be out there, and and that's just how it's going to be for the next 4 or 5 years at Alabama. Somebody, I forget what podcast I was watching, bro, but I want to say Cole Kublik is getting a lot of backlash for making a statement. He was like,
I love Cole show too.
Oh, shout Cole calls it like it is. Cole. Yeah, shout out Cole Kublik. He calls it like it is. He said a lot of people gave him slack because he said he thinks Alabama is going to run away with the West. He didn't say winning. He said run away with the West. And he said a lot of Georgia fans gave him slack for saying that Alabama was going to win the West. Like they were the most. He said, you know what? I sat there and I looked at some of those comments and what these people were saying, these Georgia fans who all of a sudden got this high and mighty attitude after winning the back-to-back. And I said, you know what? Coach Saban won the back-to-back. And Coach Saban went from winning the back-to-back to only being 2 games away from being right back in the national championship. And that season, those games, A&M, and then I think we dropped the late one to Auburn, the kick 6, I want to say. So you think about those years, and he said, but every time Coach Saban comes back with quarterback problems and a stable full of running backs and a talented defense, nobody touches Alabama. But let's go into the statistics. He said we have on Alabama in their starting lineup Everybody that's projected to start in their starting lineup are in the top 5 to 10 players ranked in their position for their class.
Of course.
Everybody across the lineup. There's not
Of
one
course.
that is not either the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 number player ranked in their position for that class that they came out of. And you got guys like Kendrick Blackshear not starting.
Exactly. And remember this, man. It is extremely difficult to play on the road in the SEC. We played and forget the SEC for a minute, to go to Texas at 11 o'clock in the morning in 150,000 degrees out there.
117 at kickoff on the
Like,
field.
come on, man. At Texas, at LSU, at Ole Miss, at Tennessee. What was it? At Arkansas.
Come on.
That is tough for any team, man. People got to understand Tennessee, for those guys to, first of all, it was a bogus call. I can say it now. It was a bogus call on Quincy McKenzie, on Kool-Aid McKinstry. It was a bogus call that gave those guys another chance. That game was supposed to be over.
Done. Over with.
Done. So to go on the road, these guys get a win. These guys hadn't beat us in just about 20 years. What was it, 15, 16 years?
Yeah, 16.
So freshmen on every team in America has no recollection of Tennessee ever even being good rather than beating Alabama. So for us to go on the road to these guys, to Tennessee, to LSU, and for these guys to beat us like that was a big deal for these guys.
Yeah.
Every time somebody beats Alabama, lucks up and beat us, they storm the field and tear the goal down. You know what I mean? So that should tell
I remember
any
you making
fan.
this statement. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
come on, man. Like, beating Alabama is the equivalent of having your first child to these fans, right?
Yes.
These opposite fan bases.
You know
So
what?
I
It's not
want
even beating Alabama. It's beating Coach Saban.
exactly,
That's what it is.
exactly. Beating Coach Saban, man. So beating Alabama, beating Coach Saban, that means something. So to lose 2 games in the fashion that we did, and I
Yeah.
know the haters will say, well, you almost lost this many, but guess what? We didn't. The key is to win the football game.
That's
Do
it.
what you have to do to win the football game. So
Hey,
Alabama has been to the playoffs 8 of what, 11 years. We've won 6. We should have been in the playoffs last year. You know what I mean? After what
yeah.
I saw, like, no
Right.
disrespect to TCU, but this is why I will never be with. I know that that's where we're going to, the conference champions. But before this playoff came into, before the 12-team playoff came into effect, this is why I was never with conference champions, because
Right.
all conferences are not created equal.
Equal.
You may be 10-0 playing Hubba Bubba University and Bubbalicious Tech and all these
Yeah.
wonderful little schools,
Not
but you didn't play
Bubbalicious Tech.
LSU. You didn't play Georgia. You didn't play Florida. You didn't play Ole Miss on the road. You didn't play Arkansas. You can go 10-2 in our conference and still be better than your conference champion.
You can
I
go
saw
9-4. You can go
exactly.
9-4.
Think about this. Think about this. I saw your conference champion out of the Big 12, respect to Oklahoma, with Jalen Hurts, that great team they had. I saw LSU put almost 50 points on them in the first half. I
And
saw your conference champion, Michigan State, conference champion, right? Big 10, you deserve to be there, right? I saw Alabama, you know what,
yeah.
smack them.
Yep.
Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. Like, stop it. All conferences are not created equal. So for Bama
hmm
to lose 2 games and not get an opportunity, it was bogus to me. That's why. Is it the 4 best teams or the 4 most deserving? Make
Right.
your choice. So I'm
Yeah.
glad we're
And
going to these 12 teams.
and we can jump on that. People
Yeah.
don't they gotta literally pin that narrative from the start of the season.
Don't
Are we
call it
going to
4
go with the
best.
4 best teams
Right.
or the 4 most deserving teams? And
Right.
deserving means I handled my schedule. I
Yeah.
didn't lose games that I was picked to win based off of this crazy. All right, I feel like this committee saying I feel like they looking good this week, so let's give them the up.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
man.
crazy to me because
Yeah.
the game of football is played on the field every week, not
Yeah.
in no bedded room. Not It's literally what's happening between those workout facilities, those practice fields, those training
Exactly.
facilities, and on that field. That's how the game of football
I'm
is
not
played.
even mad, Coach Mook, if they want to say TCU deserved to go last year because they was the most deserving.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Cool.
be mad. They won
Cool.
their conference, right?
No, Kansas State won their
Oh
conference.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Because we ended up beating
And
Kansas
guess who
State in the
smacked
bowl
Kansas
game
State around? Yeah.
with
So
their full roster. They didn't have no guys sitting out talking about we going to the draft.
exactly. If you want to say Michigan, TCU, all those guys deserve to go, okay, you have an argument. We did lose 2 games. But
Yeah.
if it's the 4 best teams, come on, man.
We
You know,
and this you want to go statistics? We can match up with statistics
thank you.
against all the people you had it ranked in front
Thank
of
you.
us. And people love to talk about how dominant Georgia defense was, but Go look at last season's statistics with Alabama and how trash of a defense we had.
That's a
And look
fact.
at our statistics in
And
those
still,
third
yeah,
down and still was like top 10, top 15 or some
yeah,
crazy. And I'm like, ain't no way. And then our offense. I looked at
yes,
some of our offensive averages. I'm like,
yeah,
ain't no way our run game was in top 30, top 30, top 35. No way. We
yeah,
didn't we
man.
didn't hand the ball off enough. How was that?
Exactly.
But you go
You
back
wouldn't
and you look
believe
at
it.
some of these
Right.
games, you be like, dang, Jace did break one off. Roydell broke about
That's a
230
fact.
off. Why
That's a
did we
whole
go away
fact.
from it? That's why we forget about it.
Man,
So
listen, I can honestly tell you, I played this game just like you know what I mean? So I don't allow myself to get disgusted like that. But I'm gonna tell you one game where my fandom had overtook me so bad I couldn't help it. That Tennessee game did something to me, man.
mm,
Like I don't I think all the fans can relate to us. That Tennessee game, when I watched them run those wide splits, right? And
and
I
we
watched
kept
DeMarco
walking,
Helms.
run
Yeah,
down from
man.
the why are you walking?
Yes.
Why are you
Why
running
you walking,
inside?
man? That stuff is the very thing I was asking myself. And don't you know Josh Heupel seen it? The offensive coordinator seen it. They
We said
picked
there's
on
no
him.
way. There's
Yeah,
no way he's not going to adjust to this. That's what Josh
man.
Heupel was saying. There, you
Yes.
could tell when he was calling the play. You could look at it. He was looking at the OC like
Yes.
he's
Are they not good? Yeah, facts. That was film study, brother. Okay, we'll give you one. You beat him on one. Okay, it happens, right? But
yeah,
to give up another one and another one
another one,
and
and
another
another
one,
one, and one more,
man, and we
and
couldn't
one more.
adjust. And one
They
more.
did it five. They ran it 7 times. They
That
threw it
that
to him 5 times and were 5 of 5. I think one of them was a pass interference because he ended
yeah,
up just
yeah,
taking them out. But
yeah.
that's basically a completion. You gave him a first down.
That
15
concerned
yards.
me, man. Yeah, man. I was concerned. I've never seen a Bama team so discombobulated on defense, and to give up a ball like that on those same plays, man. That was extreme. Like, forget the players for a minute, respectfully.
Yeah.
I was coaching wise concerned. Like, what are we doing?
What
Like,
what is Coach Saban allowing to go on
yes,
that sideline that
yes,
nobody has went to Marco Hellens and said, you know what? We can't come out of this because we're going to have somebody spy the quarterback.
exactly,
We're not
exactly.
getting the pressure up front. So stop walking down to 8
Yes,
yards and letting this guy run and staying in your back pedal. If anything, DeMarco, bail out and then
bail.
come up and make the tackle.
Exactly, exactly.
We could live with him
We can
catching
live
it
with him
underneath.
underneath. Exactly, exactly.
At least we'll get a good hit on him. Him trying to catch the ball and make moves. Somebody we should be pursuing to the ball afterwards, anyways. But at least we get a good
Yes,
hit on him and maybe cause a fumble, maybe cause him to not want to get hit anymore. But to sit there and have no football IQ, zero, because you're
yeah,
out
man.
of shape, you're tight, you're out partying the night before, as
Yeah,
the rumors came out afterwards. Like just because it's Tennessee, you don't understand. DeMarco, you weren't part of that dominating the Tennessee era. You're benefiting from the people that came in 2006, 2007, 2008, and
yeah,
started
man.
rebuilding that Bama standard, that gritty toughness right
That's
before Saban
exactly,
came back. So you were a part of
exactly,
that. You just benefiting from. You don't have the right to go out here and try to put your pride before coaching. And and
exactly.
and even in that, bro, you said something that made me think, man, like the concern on the coaching staff, because my thing was how much control, like what is this phase that Coach Saban is in? Is he really in this phase of being an overseer, a manager of his coordinators? Because I honestly don't remember Kirby Smart having that much control when things would, which was very far and few. But it
Right.
was some games where you would see Saban go over and him and Kirby would send him the call. Like, this is what I plan on doing. And coach, this is what we're going to. He
Exactly.
calling it. I remember Coach Saban was sending calls to Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
Foster was it Foster in front of him at linebacker? I can't remember who the Mike was in front of him, but Eddie Jackson was sending the play calls against Texas A&M that year when they had the
Yeah.
3 or 4 picks or whatever it was,
Yes.
2016. Eddie Jackson was out there because the linebacker had one job: contain the quarterback, spot the quarterback.
Right.
And they simplified the defense. That they
Simplified.
simplified
Yeah.
the game plan
Yeah.
and let guys play football. You got a guy like Kevin Steele, I believe, is going to do the same thing.
I
And
hope so.
per,
Because
personnel,
that's what I see in Georgia, man.
yeah,
Listen, when you watch the Georgia game against Tennessee and you see the scheme that Georgia ran, that used to be what we do.
yeah,
They
just
they
line
were
up.
they were not concerned with dropping 8. We're gonna play this defense just to not get beat
Line
deep.
up. Jam
Man,
your guy up.
jam your
Safety,
guy.
you stay over top.
Exactly.
Be ready
Attack.
to help on run
That's a
support
fact. That's a whole fact.
inside the hashes. You're not helping on
Yeah.
run support outside the hashes.
Yeah.
We gon' because we running gap contain. Our ends have to contain the
They have to
edge.
contain. Exactly.
Our
Exactly.
linebackers should be filling between the 2 and the
Yeah.
5. Let's go.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, bruh. To have a defensive coordinator that's going to tell your linebackers to get your hat in the hole. Don't let what's coming through the hole meet you.
And
Go
move you out
and
the way. Yep.
meet it on the other side. You should be in the hole before it starts
Yeah.
to whatever's coming through that shouldn't beat you there.
Yeah. You
I'm
got to
telling you,
feel.
man.
You got to feel.
Trez Marshall,
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, guys
Yes.
that I seen.
I've been telling Kyle about Trez Marshall since that kid got there. That guy was in the starting rotation at Georgia. He's physical. What I like about him,
Was it the shoulder? Was it? It was like a labrum injury or something
yeah,
that.
it was something with his shoulder. I think he had surgery and was
Yeah,
out for the longest. But that kid is physical, man.
and he's a specimen.
Respect to Henry. Henry was a good player. I love Henry Toto, but Henry would almost hesitate and get turned out of the hole. He wouldn't feel. It's like long as the play was sideline to sideline, he would try his best to run you down. But the thumping, the feeling, and teams keyed
Sean,
on that. They obviously had great film study
Sean.
because a lot of teams challenged the gap, the Henry's gap, over and over and over. I
Every
swear, I think
time.
Ole Miss ran Henry's gap at least 8 times over and over, back to back to back. I would have done the same thing if I was coaching against Alabama.
Sean, anytime you have an offensive coordinator that's confident about running a middle screen,
Yes,
that's
that's it.
total
Yeah,
disrespect to your
yeah,
interior as
yeah,
a because your D lineman, your defensive tackle is supposed to press. He's supposed to
exactly.
press. A smart D lineman can be savvy and play the pass, the screen behind, but you're supposed to press the quarterback because there's a chance that he D line press. Your linebackers, your free safety, your strong safety, they're the ones supposed to be able to read that and crash on it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Toa would get run into blocks that weren't meant for him. You
yeah,
get what I'm
man.
saying? Like,
Yes,
he would run past the plate and make the fake flail at the feet. Like that type of behavior was it made me lose respect for him. But I'll go and I look back at when Toa was at Tennessee.
yeah.
He
He
didn't
was
play
bigger.
like
He was
that.
bigger at Tennessee as well.
Yeah,
He was
exactly. And
bigger.
he played with such a relentlessness. Like I wonder did his IQ intrigue Pete Golden so much
Yeah.
that it was like, all right, I'm gonna let this guy basically handle, the adjustments inside. And did that slow him down? Did that make was
I
he
think so,
and
man.
go watch his interview on YouTube, man. They
Yeah.
did the little cover, the little draft story, backstory on Toa. And the kid come from he not no uppity kid. He come from
Right.
Sacramento, and that's why he was able to adapt to the players, the locker room. You never heard anybody complain about his locker room atmosphere, but that
Right.
on the field production, it went from these 20 assist tackles that he getting credit for, them
Yeah.
0.5s add up to 12 tackles. And you're
After
like,
12
what
tackles.
12
Yeah.
tackles?
Yeah.
He got 24 assists. That's how, he jumping on the pile. But you
Yeah.
go back to those 24 tackles at Alabama, and then 2 years before, he would have 12, 13 tackles in the game. And they were like, Toa, at it again. Toa, stopping in
Yeah.
the backfield. Because guess who was his coordinator? Jeremy
Of
Pruitt.
course.
Somebody
I
that
was
believes in putting your hat in the doggone hole.
Yeah, Jeremy was physical, man, and he didn't mind attacking you. I was so when you look back, guys, at when we had Ruben and Reggie, and you see how physical those guys, man, they would thump you, bro. They did
Right.
not mind if you send a lineman and you pull a lineman, he's coming through the trash, man. They gonna smash the lineman.
Every
They know they
time.
can't get to the tackle. They gonna punish the lineman to make him think about it next time. And that's the kind of defense I want to get back to, man. I don't care nothing about dropping eight, keeping everything in front of you. If we gonna live, I'd rather live and die by it. If we gonna let's go get the quarterback. Let's go get him.
Right.
Let's go get him. Put a hat on him. You see what Georgia did to Hendon Hooker last year? Man, they hit that. That man was seeing ghosts. He was seeing
And,
ghosts.
And it wasn't even off of scheme. Guys were winning
Exactly.
matchups up front, bro.
Guys are winning matchups. Exactly.
And,
That
and,
brings
and
me
we
to a
have guys
question.
that can win matchups. Why do we
Yeah.
not allow
Yeah.
these 5 and 4-star athletes go out there and play
Man,
football,
don't even
man?
get me started on that. Where's Curtis Perry? Curtis Perry is quick. Where's Marin Latham? These guys
Jeremiah
have the
Alexander.
speed. Where's Jeremiah Alexander, man? These guys have listen, I don't have no disrespect with Tim. Tim Smith is absolutely outstanding. But Tim is in Tim's remind me of Christian. Christian Barmore, when he wanted to play, was an absolute monster,
We
right?
need to see him every
But
play.
exactly, but Christian would have these games where I don't know what was wrong with him. It's just like he was just
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was happening, but
No excitement on the field, no
none,
nothing.
none. I don't understand the up and down, the up and down. Give Jeremiah an opportunity. Give John Moran Latham an opportunity. Give these guys an opportunity. Give Curtis Perry. I know he's a smaller guy, but he's quick. He's very fast. He's quick to beat off the block. His leverage is awesome. Give these guys an opportunity. So I'm hoping that's what comes. But let me ask you a question, Coach Smook.
Mhm.
This is a question I was going to ask Kyle. I would love to hear the fans and see what these guys think about this. If you guys had one thing from, I know what mine is, but
Mhm.
if you guys had one thing from last year that you want to see greatly improved this year, one thing, what would it be?
Um, dang. I think I was just speaking on it. The interior play on the defense. That's
Man, you
on
look,
the front.
stole my thunder, man. I
Oh
can show
wait,
you.
well
I can
I
show
go
you my
another way.
notes.
I can go the other way then. I'll go on the offensive side
Yeah,
because I know
yeah,
I know you love defense. So I stay on the
yeah,
offensive side.
yeah.
So offensively, bro, uh just scheme, pass game
Yes,
scheme, pass
yes.
concept scheme, clear, decisive route running. No
Clear,
confused
decisive.
receivers. Like, bro, I watched that Ole Miss game
Three
from
receivers in the
last
same
season. And
spot.
even though we won, bro,
Yeah, it's crazy,
our
man.
wide receivers ran, I want to say, out of the 30, I think it was 31 snaps I came up with where Bryce
Yeah,
actually dropped back and had opportunities to throw the ball. I think he threw the ball away like 6 times.
yeah.
He had 22 completions. Some it wasn't crazy numbers.
Right.
But even on the goal line, we don't want to see a 5 wide set in the goal line.
Man, what
But
is that?
if you
Yes.
have guys running routes and they know what they're running or they're being told to create, this is the route you're running because we're creating this look.
Yeah.
Simple, basic stuff. I believe is more efficient than go out there every play based off of the protection that Bryce calls with his old line and the
Right.
set that we call wide receivers. I need you to read what's in front of you, or if we call this set, read across the field and tell me what you seeing as you run the play. And
Right.
you and Bryce should be on the same play. That nobody in the country is doing that. Nobody in the country. You
Yeah.
barely have NFL teams staying with that type of thought process because it's so advanced. Most teams that have success with it have guys that are around each other that have been playing together for 5,
Facts.
6, 7 seasons. Your core guys are 6 together. College football, you got guys staying together maybe 2 years. Your core guys
Yeah.
being able to be together for 2 years. The last time we was able to have a 3-year squad, we was able to go back to back and miss the third one by close games, 2 close games.
Right.
So it's one of those things where I just want to see a simplified scheme for my wide receivers because there's way too much talent,
Way
way
too
too
much
much
talent.
talent. And
For
I don't
me,
think we're
man,
gonna we don't go.
for
I
my
don't think we're gonna have an issue with the tight ends being involved in the passing game because I
right,
honestly still with Latu last year the amount of workload that was put on him and the type that we schemed him, the way that we
yeah,
schemed him, it wasn't for his skill set, but he sufficed in big moments.
he
Um,
did, man. Cam played okay, man. I don't have
yeah,
no problem with how Cam played.
for a guy that never played tight end,
Yeah, he
you
was a
know what I'm
defensive
saying?
player coming out of high school. Exactly.
Exactly. And a
For me,
good and a good outside linebacker slash defensive end.
yeah.
You get what
For
I'm
me,
saying?
Coach
Like,
Mook, it's for me, man. You know, I've thought about this 100 times, and I don't understand. I do not get what is going on with our interior defensive line. I don't understand it, man. I'm not talking about outside linebackers. I'm not talking about inside linebackers. I'm talking strictly D line. I'm talking about the three techniques, the zeros, the fives. I'm
mhm,
talking about these guys on the defensive front. I can remember the Jonathan Allens, the Deron Paynes, the Quinnen Williams. These guys dominated their box, and they caused havoc every play. We had a defensive front that was so aggressive and that these guys were scoring points themselves, causing fumbles, scoring, picking up fumbles, running them back for touchdowns. Our defensive front, man, of late, DJ Dale. I mean, Byron Young was solid. Christian Barmore was solid. He could play very well when he wanted to.
right.
Um, these guys were solid, but we have not had that Quinnen Williams. We have not had that Deron Payne. And what concerned me and what make me scratch my head is the top defensive lineman. I mean, Jaheim Otis is playing well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He seems like he could possibly be that next guy. But when you look at the top defensive lineman, I mean the top defensive interior lineman, these guys for some reason are not going to Alabama. JT Tumalao, even though he played on the outside at Ohio State, Peter Woods. These guys are going other places. So I don't understand what's going on, man. I really don't know, but we definitely need to establish a dominant defensive interior. That's what I don't understand what's going on with that. I don't.
So you know what I would like to compare this group to, and I don't know if you watched the Bama Standard the other night with Cha when she was
Yeah,
doing the show.
yeah,
So she was saying how she likes to make comparisons. My thing is I'm more realistic when it comes to comparisons, so I try to relate it to the Nick Saban era Bama fans because that's what we deal with a lot when we
of
talk
course.
about guys not producing and people being bust. I
Yeah,
like to relate it to greats that can be remembered for those fans who haven't been watching
exactly.
football since Derek Thomas was dominating, or when Antonio Lagum was going crazy, and George Teague in the
Yeah,
secondary going crazy, and Tony Dixon. Like I remember them
yeah,
guys back in the '90s and the early 2000s.
yeah.
So
See, that's my
even
day.
Marvin
That's my
Constant, I
day.
joke with Marvin Constant all the time, but
Man, listen,
I
Marvin
I,
was a
ne-
monster.
I
Don't
never
nobody out there get it fooled, man.
so
Marvin was if you love Reuben Foster,
you
imagine Reuben about 20 pounds heavier
heavier,
and would straight
about
up
3 inches
thump
taller.
you.
Look,
Yes. Marvin would hurt himself to hurt you. I'm
Marvin
telling you.
was the
That was
first
my day. That
refrigerator
was
at
my day.
linebacker, bro.
Yes, that was my
Uh,
day. I was at Alabama A&M University here in Huntsville, but
yeah,
Marvin was an absolute monster, man. Don't
I'm telling
if
you.
that young man hadn't hurt himself, Marvin, man, that boy didn't
And
have no fear, none,
I had
zero.
I played at Russell County High School in Seal, Alabama, right?
Yeah,
And my coach, our defensive coordinator and assistant coach was Vantrese Davis.
yeah,
And Vantrese played at Alabama. He ain't make no name for himself, but Vantrese was, you talk about him when he was at Alabama, he was the all-star practice player, pop any and everything. And when I say
art.
we talk about guys that make me, I like to relate uh our current roster players and upcoming guys that set expectations. I like to relate them to guys from the past. And I'm looking at
Of
this
course.
2015 roster, man. And you was just talking about the D line. And I'm looking at the guys we were working with coming into that season.
Yes.
We were, of course, we were led by, the junior and senior group, Deshaun Hand, Dalvin Tomlinson,
Alvin
Ashawn
Tomlinson.
Robinson, Jaron Reed.
Woo,
Like those were your senior guys.
man,
And if you look at the roster we have at
man.
Alabama right now, we
Yeah,
have senior guys that have had that potential and have had the hype before, they fell off those few years. And if you remember, Ashawn Robinson and those guys, they weren't dominating the 2 years before they were the junior, senior leaders. And so I think Jaheim Otis coming in already, he get kind of forced into that junior leader role,
and let
being that,
everybody know. Let everybody know. All four of those guys are still in the league right now.
yes, all of them right
Ashawn,
now,
Ashawn was 18 and looked like he was 37. You know what I
and,
mean?
and
And was
still is in the
was
league.
a man, a full grown man.
And I think we got the same type of personnel in this group. And when you talk about Jaheim Otis, Justin Boygby,
Yeah,
uh, Tim Smith with a fire lit on them, Tim Keenan, Coach Saban
yeah,
in the interview said
yeah,
Tim Keenan is performing like a starter.
yeah.
If you can get
Tim
Tim
is
Keenan
he's
and
aggressive.
maybe Damon Payne to get his act together, or Ja
Yeah,
Latham to get
yeah,
their act together, you got your 7-man rotation there in that front, and there's no reason to be tired. I see
exactly.
Boygby and Otis playing heavy snaps because those are your impact guys, but who are the guys that benefit from them having to demand all the attention?
Right.
That's what I'm ready to see from.
I want that.
And when
Yes.
I think people confuse the interior of the defensive line with, just the defensive tackle and the nose guard. No,
Right,
the
right.
way we
That's why
scheme
I was trying to exactly,
our
exactly.
DNs have to gap contain in part. One of those gaps is still considered interior. It's not
That's
the
a whole
edge.
fact.
So
Yeah.
so
For the
that's
defense
why
we
you don't.
run, that's a whole fact. Yep.
And bro, you hit it right on the head. That interior that's why we've always been able to have linebackers that
That's
get
a whole
noticed.
fact. That's why the
You got
linebackers could do their job. Yep.
Terrence Cody. He started the trend.
He
Then
did. He
people
did,
forget
man.
Jesse Williams, how disruptive Jesse Williams was at defensive
Jesse
tackle.
was a monster too, man. Good night. That boy was
I
a
mean, we
monster.
had him. Deshaun Hand, he would go from DN to deep tackle.
Yeah.
We talked about Quentin Williams
Dalvin.
and
Yeah.
Dalvin Thompson. Bro, Dalvin Thompson did it because he moved faster than what it looked like. Like that's what quarterbacks and running backs would say in interviews about Dalvin Thompson. Like, you don't
Strong
expect no
too.
dude, that big dude
Yeah.
just got done pushing two offensive linemen off of him to be able to kind of like chase you to the edge and force you to
Yeah.
tiptoe the
Very
sideline and
strong.
get upfield. Right.
Yeah. Very, very strong young man.
And
I tell you
so,
this too, man. I tell you something, man, Coach Smook, that I don't know if the fans have paid attention to, but I notice little things like this, man, and it concerned me. You know, it concerned me. I love Will. Will was one of the most talented defensive players, outside linebackers, DN, whatever you want to classify him as, that we've had at Alabama, right?
mhm,
But I feel like if Will had had that mean streak, he would have been a generational player.
right.
I watched our players come out during the Tennessee game. If you go to YouTube right now and you
Mhm.
type in the Bama players coming out during Tennessee, not when they got out of the tunnel, but when they were in the tunnel,
No
man,
energy.
it's like you could hear a pin drop. They were all had
No
their hair
energy.
down. All you heard was the cleats hitting the concrete.
No
And I
energy.
was I was concerned. And I want everybody to go back and look at Alabama when we played Notre Dame in 2012, 11, 12, whatever it was. Look
Yeah.
at when our players were coming out of the tunnel and Notre Dame was standing there watching.
Scared.
Man, they were excited. Alabama knew they were going to kick some, you know what, man. They
Yeah.
were aggressive. They knew they were screaming. They was ready to play.
Right. And and,
And
and
I got so discombobulated, man, when I heard Will say, you know, we had,
that mental thing.
we had anxiety, and the Georgia players were all on Twitter making fun of him, man. Like, I can remember when Alabama didn't get anxiety. We gave it.
Gave it.
We gave it.
And
So that
Sean,
that kind of bothered me a little bit, man,
it did,
respectfully.
and we don't want to discount players' mental health because it is a
Right,
new game. The game
right.
is evolving. There's a
Exactly.
different type of business incorporated with legal business now that's incorporated with becoming a college football athlete. So we don't want to discredit that, but at the end of the day, son,
I wouldn't have
you're
said it
here to
public.
play football. Exactly.
I
That
would have
stuff
just kept it.
that's that what they call that client consumer
Yeah.
agreement or whatever,
Agreement.
whatever
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
thing
yeah,
is,
yeah.
whatever it is, that
Exactly.
yeah. And so, man, it's one of them things where we want to rebound from that mentality. It's not just
Yeah,
what was
man.
on the field, that mentality to make excuses for not going out there
Yes,
and
man.
earning and proving your rating, earning and proving that A on your chest, earning and proving the fact that you get to go and play for one of the not probably the greatest college football coach, not the greatest coach maybe, but the greatest college football coach to ever do it.
Period.
Nobody has ever had a 15-year stint like
Yes.
Coach Saban has at one university.
Straight like
Nobody
that.
ever,
Yes,
ever
sir.
to be considered one of the top 3 teams for 15 years straight
Exactly.
and doing it
Exactly.
a year after coming. You didn't have to wait 3 years like Kirby did. You didn't get handed a roster full of talent. People Georgia fans, they like to throw this in our face, and this I want to say before we start closing down. Georgia fans like to throw it in our face like Georgia ain't been trash. We always had talent. That's the point. We're trying
Yeah.
to figure out why y'all all of a sudden want to beat y'all. Y'all could have been beating y'all chest. Y'all
Yes.
been having 9 and 10 win seasons forever.
Yeah.
Even when Saban got to Bama, y'all were still meeting us in
When
the
Coach
ACC
Rick was there.
championship.
Yeah. That's a
I
fact.
mean, and yes, Rick never recruited like Kirby. But y'all, this shouldn't be a surprise, y'all. Y'all shouldn't be coming at us as if this is something new to y'all. Y'all should, if anything, y'all should be like, finally, not
Yeah.
we been. So it's one of those things, man. I'm like, man, when you have every last time everybody's focus was on Alabama. Everybody. I mean, the whole college football nation, we didn't win 2 back-to-back national championships. Why are
Right.
we mainstream media? There's got to be
Man.
a reason. And
Yeah.
there's a 4-star quarterback sitting there waiting. There's a 5-star quarterback sitting there waiting. There's
Fact.
another 4-star dual sport athlete that I don't think Buckner is even in the mix, bro. As much as good as he's been performing, and I know that's a good thing. I don't think they're pressing him because Buckner is going to be there next year. You
Yeah.
know, I think he'll
Definitely.
stay through the spring to see if he wins the job. If he doesn't, he goes transfer portal and starts somewhere else easy.
Right.
But he's there for that all emergency purposes. And this season is one of them seasons where we won't need all emergency purposes. The
Got to.
rotation is going to be so deep on the defensive side as far as the front seven. I think that you're not going to know what to scheme for. I think the secondary is going to be able to beat athletes. You got 4 or 5. You got 5 guys who were, 11 on 11, 1-on-1, top 3 guys when they went to the camp the same year.
Exactly.
Like.
Yeah.
And Arnold was playing safety the year he started getting the
Yeah.
clamp god, label. Like you
Yeah.
don't get that by just
Corner was
being
fresh for him. I know he had
yes.
played it before in high school, but corner was fresh for him.
at that level against
At that
a
level.
coordinator,
Yeah, exactly.
Sarkisian, first of all, when he
I
had to
I
come in
tell you
against
this.
Texas.
I tell you this, Coach Mook, and I want the fans to hear me on this. If the fans get the chance to see this, man, we got to do our part too, man. The one thing I get on the fans about, and I get on I'm a fan too, so I get on myself as well. We are not the same fans we were in 2016. Winning has turned us to wine and cheesers. I know a lot
Hmm.
of people not gonna want to hear that, but I'm gonna tell you something real quick. I went to a Tennessee game. I've been to Texas A&M when we lost. I've been to the Swamp when we almost lost, and obviously I've been to Auburn.
Hmm.
Let me be the first to tell every Alabama fan out there: if you think Brian Denny is loud, you lying to yourself.
Oh
We
yeah,
we clap. These people are on their feet most of the time and turn those environments into nut houses. I can remember when Brian Denny used to be that way in 2016, 2015, 2000s. We have got to come out as fans and we have got to go ballistic. We have got to turn Brian Denny into a hostile environment.
right.
The players need that, man. Texas game, I don't care if it's Middle Tennessee. We got to come out and we have to set a tone from the first game as fans. We
As
cannot
fans,
get on the players for not doing their job or this player not doing. We got to do our job. We can't keep leaving in the third quarter. Let's turn that place into an absolute hostile environment. Let's lock the door on whatever team comes in there and let's make an example of them. We have
Dixie,
got to get back to turning Brian Denny into the old Brian Denny
right,
and where you can't hear yourself think. Let's do
right.
that as fans. Let's do
So
that as
so
fans.
and bro, I'm glad you said that because Dixieland Delight hasn't been sung like it's been sung since 2017
I
when
know,
Jalen
man.
Hurts and they did Jalen Hurts did them boys nasty in Auburn. That
Yeah,
game,
man.
like that's the last time I
The
remember
fans
the
went.
energy.
That's the loudest one I've. Yeah, man. They went crazy on that one.
And you know what's crazy, man? I can't. I took my first time taking my wife to the Alabama game was the Mississippi State game in
Yeah,
2019, I want to say, and it was home game Mississippi State 19. Yeah, ice cold Dr. Pepper, he was there,
yeah.
and it was one of them games, man. I was happy to be there because I'm a diehard Bama fan, but it
Facts.
wasn't like it was when me and my god brother came that year. Jalen Hurts was
Yeah,
leading us
man.
into
It's
the Iron
different.
Bowl,
It's different, man.
and like you said, people were leaving in the third quarter. I mean, even A Day that season was different. Like the
Yeah,
buzz
man.
was,
The
we got
buzz.
spoiled, man. We
It's a
got
fact.
spoiled. So I'm
It's a
I'm
fact.
I'm I'm like you, man. I'm one of them fans. We don't need to be social media fans this season. We need to
That's a
be
fact.
we need to be speak. If we're gonna be on social media, we need to be supporting our squad, boy. Because these players, that a lot of their money come from what we say about them. Every time
That's
we
a
tag
whole
these
fact.
boys, they getting some type of incentive or royalties toward it. So it's like let's feel them. And I'm not gonna sit here and say our whole fan base, but majority of our fan
Right.
base is very spoiled, bro. But
Right.
it's
It's
gonna
not
take
everybody, but definitely some
it's
facts.
gonna take fans like us and other people that call it for what it is. When we have a bad game, it's a bad game,
It's a
and we're
bad
gonna tell
game.
you why it's a bad game. It
Yeah.
ain't always on the players, it ain't always on the coaches. We're gonna tell you our best way we can.
Keep
But
it
at the
real.
end of the day,
Yeah.
man, it's roll tide, and I think we
A
are
whole fact.
poised for a crazy good season, man. I mean, the more I keep looking at our roster, the more I keep watching games from last season, the more I go watch Auburn Auburn defense is coached by Kevin Steele, the more I go back and watch the last 2 seasons of Tommy Reese calling plays at Notre Dame,
Yeah.
majority play caller at Notre Dame. I am confident. You
Yeah.
got every tool in the woodshed that at your disposal. You need a chainsaw, we got a chainsaw. You need a jackhammer,
Yeah.
we got a jackhammer. You need the bulldozer, we got bulldozers. You need the lift thing that's gonna get you up, finesse you on top of the tree so you could trim the 10-foot tree real nice. We have
Exactly.
all of that available. We have the big wrecking ball that could come through and just shut down the rush defense if it's schemed properly. Like we have all the tools available, and it's just time for us to show up, support it, and put it on the field. I think Coach Saban is more eager than the players this year. The
I
the
think
energy
so,
he's bringing
man.
to I
I
think
think
he's ready
so.
to unleash it, man.
I think
I
so,
really
man.
do.
I'll say this in closing. You know, these players have heard everything, man. We as fans hear it. We hear the prognosticators. Like I said, I heard one guy picked us fourth in the SEC. Said Tennessee, LSU, and Georgia was better than us. One thing about players that fans got to know: these guys have pride. They have
Mhm.
pride. They're competitors. They don't like to be dished like that. So I know Coach Saban, he knows what buttons to press with the media as well as the players.
So he
He'll
could get the
say,
responses. Yep.
yeah, he'll say, you can't worry about what people say about you, but I can guarantee you in practice,
He
they think y'all soft. They
right.
think y'all suck. You know what
You
I
know
mean?
what's what's
So
been confirmed? I don't mean cut y'all. My
yeah, that's
boy
right.
J E he confirmed that look Coach Saban gave David Pollard at the
Yeah.
national championship.
Oh, he won't
That's
forget
on
that.
repeat in the locker room.
Yeah, he won't
That's
forget
on
that.
repeat in the locker room. That segment is on repeat in the locker room for fourth quarter. They said that was
Yeah,
on the first day, and the statement they made about the dynasty being over
yeah.
on the Fine Bomb show. Man, them boys, I don't care who you are. You don't tell me I'm trash.
Those guys respect us. I'll tell every Bama fan, look, when they didn't pick Alabama for the college football playoff last year, I forgot the young man's name, Sawyer, or whatever his name, the kid used to play center. He
Yeah,
tweeted, he didn't say Bama, he said once the team from Tuscaloosa wasn't in it, we knew we had it locked up. So you know what's in your way.
yeah,
You know what's in
yeah,
your way. You know
yep,
them Crimson Tide boys is in your way.
yep,
So we got pride, man. We got pride.
yeah.
Everybody throwing dirt on us, man. Wait till this season. We're gonna show
Wait
you
till this season.
way more than
Yeah,
we can tell you. We're
facts,
gonna
man.
show
And
you
chat,
way more than we can tell you, man.
man.
Roll Tide to everybody out there, brother.
Roll
Roll Tide.
Tide, chat. And in closing, y'all, we appreciate y'all for supporting everybody. Hey, if you
100% fact.
didn't know, me and Sean and our guy Jay, he's gonna be coming on too, man.
Shout out to
We're
Jared.
Jared, he gonna be in here, man. We're gonna be doing some big things. So we ready to go on this along the ride with y'all throughout this season. Continue to support Kyle and what he's doing, this great work he's doing on
Shout
this
out to
channel,
Kyle,
man.
man. Hard
Yeah,
working
shout out
guy,
to
man.
Kyle, man. Like this
Yes.
is something that's big for us, and is I won't say it's a dream come true, but this is a big step in my life. I don't know about you to know that as Bama fan base, you guys agree with what we're saying. Y'all put some type of weight on what we're saying and the ideas and the perspectives that we share. That's a lot, and we definitely I don't downplay it. I know my brother Sean doesn't downplay it. We've never met in person, but the way we interact, you would think we was like personal
Yeah.
partners. So we
Yes.
appreciate y'all for tuning in. And I don't have anything, everybody know they can find me on Coach Smook on everything, every platform. You'll see me talking and supporting my Bama squad. You'll see my game and stuff. Coach Smook on everything. Sean, tell the
Shout
people
out
where
to
they can find
everybody
you,
in the
man.
chat. Man, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I'm about to get my social media going. I had a job to where they used to frown on social media, so
Right.
I didn't really take part in it like that too much. But I'm about to be back out there. I'm about to be back out there so people can tap in, and if they
Right.
want to humbly hear what I got to say, maybe they'll tap in. Shout out to everybody who taps in. Support Kyle, man. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe, and we're gonna continue to give you guys hopefully the truth and support our guys, man, to the end, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, for sure, man. And with that being said, man, it's been your boy Coach Smook,
SPH
Coach
Huntsville, Sean.
Sean, man. And
Facts.
we out. Roll Tide, baby.
Roll Tide, man.